All right, everybody. My name is Steve. Good afternoon, and I'm one of the founders of formerly Imperia, now Alliance of the Sacred Sons. We've actually changed our name. We have a blog post up on it on our website. It goes in a little bit more detail, but basically what I want to do, it's been a few months since we've recorded a video. So what I'd like to do is show you guys what we are doing. We want to show you some of the new AI and UI, and just spend a few minutes going over a few of the different concepts. So without further ado, we're going to start a new game. We're going to have a large number of stars. We're going to have a fairly large empire, and we'll have 5 other civilizations for now. So we're going to go ahead and let it build. Now, this is not going to be a comprehensive video. This really is just sort of a check-in. There are several things that aren't quite working yet, but it's definitely enough to show you the direction that we're going with the user interface and some of the concepts. You also get a chance to see the character screen, and you'll get a chance to see the project screen. Those are, for the most part, working. So by the next video, which should be towards the end of the month, it should be pretty close to a Let's Play. We'll actually be able to play the game, show you some concepts, and actually put your emperor in peril. So this is the screen right now. As you can see, it's quite a bit different from what it used to be. We now have our provinces that are kind of on the map. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 provinces. I'm sorry, 6 provinces, and you see the province governors. So we want to make it clear that you are managing from a top-down perspective. You do manage first and foremost, especially as your empire grows, through your governors. So right now, this is the political command mode. So as you zoom in, you see a little bit about the planet. You see their admin, and then as you zoom in further, you see more information about each individual planet. So you have their scan level, bio, basic material, heavy material, rare material information. So we're still kind of playing with it. Now as you go to the different modes, economic mode, you see the trade groups, and you see the different things that are being, this is what's being traded, this is what's being requested. And then political command mode, demographic command mode, and overview. Those don't have a whole lot yet. So we're going to go ahead and start with economic command mode, and we'll kind of zoom in and go to our planet. So as you can see, we've got some 3D stars and some 3D planets. They're not all converted yet, but we're working on having everything in the game 3D. Here is your chain of command. So that's you, the emperor, right there. Then you have your domestic prime, which kind of oversees your planets. You have your provincial governor, and then your system governor here. These are your planets. It's fairly similar to what you're used to if you played the old Imperia. Just some basic information about the system. So we're going to go ahead and zoom into a planet. This is New Terra. So now this is where it starts to look quite a bit different. So you have some buttons over here. I know my window's covering up a little bit of them, but it's not too bad. As you change modes, you will have different windows that show up over here because they are germane to that particular mode. So we're going to open up Build Plan, Production, GPP. So as you open these up, you can open and close them at will. You can pin them around the screen. You can have them all open at one time. So if you move to another planet, let's go ahead and go here. You see it stays open. Let's say I go to another command mode. I go back here. They're not open because I'm not in that mode. But when I come back, everything is saved. So we're working for some user configurability. Your Viceroy information is front and center. So you have the basic information. You can, of course, click on to them. I'll go into this in a bit. Basic information about your Viceroy, and then a chat log. So the idea is that you are an emperor and you're talking to your characters. So this is what they were actually telling to you as you're checking into the planet. Like, hey, how you doing? Or why are you bothering me? So one of the things that we looked at to make it easier, remember, you control your empire at a top level. So you have your action points here, and this is where first and foremost. So we want to make it easy for you to do what you do. The command modes were a part of that. You know, say, I want to do something military. I really want to work on the economy. You don't want to have to hunt and peck. So we took it a step further. Let's say we just want to work on production. We can actually click on the box, and now we have a what we call an intermediate window. It's not quite done yet. This is the design, but you can see it's pulling in. You will have actions that only pertain to the production. Let's say I want to do the gross planetary product. Well, I need to do something to get it up higher, or I need to make more money, or something's going on. I can click on here, and it will change to only those. So it's just a way of kind of an intermediate mode. You can still go into the character screen and go into the actions just like normal, but it's a little bit more focused for people that are thinking about what they want to do first. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the character screen. So I'll go ahead and pull it up. So it looks quite a bit different from the old screen. And I won't give you a complete tour, but essentially The heavy points, this is you, the character. You can see the tooltips. We're going to be very heavily tooltipping. Every single icon of the game will have tooltips, and most text will have context-sensitive help. In other words, this will be kind of like Paradox with their tooltips that kind of explain things. Now, we're not giving away all the numbers, but you'll have a lot of understanding about why things are what they are and how to fix them. So here you have a character's power. This is their administrator skill, very important for projects and running holdings. This is their current assignment. So right now he's on New Terra. He's the viceroy there. This is how much his people love him. And here we haven't implemented yet, but it's a fear rating, how much they fear him. Personal assets, he has $7 billion. He has 61 admin available to him right now. He's an old guy, he's bedridden, so that increases chances of assassination or simply dying, and it makes him less effective. And he's human. So we have different types in the game, different robots, AIs, things like that. Culture, religion, right now that's not fully implemented, but all characters will have a culture, which is kind of like a culture group, which will be important, especially when you're migrating and opening up new planets and frontiers. And then church, there is a religious layer as well. Right now, I have a high intel level on this character, which means that his information is pretty accurate. So right now, when I look at emotions, motives, and talents, these are the 9 skills, essentially, that are attributes that define a character. We have discretion, we have passion, we have drive for the emotions, affects how quickly they act, how impulsive they are, and then their motives. We have honor, we have empathy, and we have, we have piety, we have empathy, and we have honor. And these are kind of how they'll act. This kind of replaces the tyrannical benevolent curve. So the characters, think of it more like Dungeons and Dragons, where you can have someone with high honor but low empathy. So it's kind of like chaotic evil or chaotic good. So it's a little bit more, and we'll probably have another post on that because it's very important to understand the character system. It's very detailed. And then talents. We have charm, we have intelligence, and we have discretion. So these 9 things, along with their traits, form who they are as a person and as a character. Over here is their top 5 friendly relationships, who they're friends with. So you can kind of look and see they're all friends here. And then these are their, actually this person only has 4 hostile relationships, so which is good. It means he hasn't pissed off a lot of people. Conversation, as you click in, it'll tell you, he'll talk to you or they'll talk to you. Now over here are the different actions. So we've taken the action system quite a bit further than the old game, even the old build of the new version. So now you click out, now you have the different actions over here. They'll actually be a little different. They're actually going to be a box. So you have friendly actions, you have assignment actions that change depending on their assignment, if they're a viceroy or a governor or a prime or what have you, and then hostile actions. So if you want to piss someone off, here's the way to do it. So what will happen? Let's say I want to give a praising speech. So I click on here, it's going to open up a whole second window. You'll actually be talking to the character, and this is very important because we want you to feel as the emperor that you're really talking to your characters. We want you to build a relationship with them. So over here, you'll tell them what you're doing, and then over here, they'll react once you confirm. Over here is going to be a context-sensitive display. Some actions will require things like picking a character, picking a planet, picking a just something, a yes or no, picking some kind of material. So you'll be able to pick what you need for the action over here in a context-sensitive display. All right, so that's pretty much that. So let's go ahead and look at the projects real quick. So the project menu, projects look a lot different from what they used to be. If you remember the old edicts, projects are the distant cousin, but they look a lot different. So we're going to do something basic here. We're going to rename a planet. As you can see, it's very, very different. So essentially all you're doing, instead of spinners and clicking on things and setting budgets, you're just dragging and dropping people to actually do the project for you. So the first thing you have to do is you have to have an administrator. Now I talked to you about administrator skill being very important. It is very important because that determines how many people can be in each project. So I want to look at skill and I want to see who in the planet has a high skill. Well, this is perfect. I've got someone with a 5 skill. They're not funding a lot because administrators don't fund. And he's someone that's not very important. So hopefully by having him in the project, I won't piss off a lot of people. So let's go ahead and drag him in. So now as you can see, 5 slots have opened up. Now one thing about projects, and this is really the crux of it, why you're just like, well, we'll just take all the best people, and well, here's the problem. Number one, if they're already on a project, it can't be used for anything else until the project's completed. And number two, that you see this up here where it says power. So this particular, now this is a very small edict. All we're doing is renaming a planet. But some, projects will have hundreds and hundreds of power that can potentially be generated. Think about it as a politician putting their weight and their money behind a huge development. Well, that makes them more influential. Well, it's the same thing with Alliance of the Sun. So you don't want to give someone that you don't like or that you think will try to do bad things to you more power. And so you might have to make choices about, well, I've got this person, like here they're funding 86%. Well, but this is a no relationship. That would be fine. But let's say give this person. This person is prey to me. We do not have a very good relationship. So I probably do not want to give this person more power. And that's what happens. Your administrator gets a lot of power, and then characters get power depending on how much money they have contributed to the cause. So, so if I want Lori, let's say I want to make Lori of Igaraja Low. That's one of the houses. Part of the game is Alliance of the Sacred Sons. You're trying to rebuild your empire, and that's why we like the name so much. So you have to get some of these houses on your side because most of them don't like you very much. So let's say I want to start working on that house. Well, here's Lori. She's a minor character, but she might be somebody someday. And she's willing to put a lot of money towards the cause, 86%. So let's go ahead and bring her in. So right now, so she has actually changed her income. So it's 29%. So I need to find a little bit more funding. Now Allison, here's the system governor, but she's of a house of a house that someone I want to work with. So you know what? I'm going to put her in. So now I have 129% of the money. So anytime that you're over, the money doesn't actually go over. It just reallocates the power depending on a percentage of 100%. So now here's the only problem though. I only have 16 ADM going towards the project in any given turn. Well, it takes 200 to complete the project. Now that 16 is in a perfect world. That assumes there's no issues, that ADM is not being withheld. There's kind of an intrigue system that kind of deals with that. But for now, let's play it straight. I don't want this project to take 13 turns. This is a small project. So I need to find someone else some ADM. Well, here's Igaraja High. Now they're actually competing houses. So I probably do not want to have Carmelo, even though he's got a ton of ADM, I probably do not want him to be involved in this because that's going to give him a lot of power. So let's go outside. Let's look at the system. Let's see. Let's sort by ADM. And let's only look at people that have ADM. Okay, well, here's Carmelo. We've already seen. Oh, here's Tyler. Well, he's the provincial governor. He's the House of Curly Finn. Well, we don't have any kind of bad relationship. I don't have anything against him. He's also going to put money towards the project, which means it will dilute the contributions of these guys. So I don't really want to do that either. So we're going to have to go outside the province to find somebody. Okay, well, here is ADM of 8, and they're not wanting to put any money. That's perfect. So we're going to add Chin. She's also the house that I need. So now I'm down to 8 turns. So now I've got 2 more slots. I can just leave it as it is, or I can get a few more people involved. Now again, if they're involved in a project, they can't be involved in any other project. So there's a downside to assigning a whole lot of people for minimal gain because it basically freezes them up. So I'm going to leave this as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and execute. And now when I go, there's my projects that are active. So now at the end of the turn, I'll go ahead and zoom back out and go ahead and end turn. And shortly, you'll also hopefully see little ships move to and fro. This is actually the trade screen. But one thing you'll see is that there is now progress being made on the projects. So you'll see that here in a moment. There's quite a bit of planets to run. So basically, the purpose of this video is not to give you an exhaustive look at everything we're doing. It's just to show you some of the tooltips, some of the new screens, some of the things that we're doing to kind of show. Now see here we've got the lines of the different ships going to different planets because they're trading. And you see there's a little sliver now under rename planet. We said it would take about 8 turns, so there's about an 8th, and this will fill up as we go. So that's pretty much all. I just wanted to give you guys a taste. We're very excited about the name change. We're excited about a lot of what we're doing, and we should actually have a video out in a few weeks going over really pretty close to a Let's Play, because by then we'll have some of the AI in place and most of the UI. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sticking with us if you've been with us over the last few years, but you're about to see a lot of activity. You guys have a great evening.